Hey guys, so welcome back to my another video. This video is going to be a part 7. And so far what we did on the last video was we added a couple of dependencies what we needed for this our tax management project, and we also added the material design. I can show you here. We added material design, we added chart.js and Ng2chart. Okay, this is all what we added. And this video, we're gonna do a dive in on the code, and we're gonna add a couple of the more components and stuff like that. So let's begin. So the what I have currently, it's a boilerplate that was come with the Angular by itself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this and write it here the test. And of course, it doesn't come with anything else, I guess. Okay, so test is good. This is perfectly fine. So now let me generate a new component. So to generate a new component, I need to type here the ng generate component. Now I need to tell where I want to generate this component. So I'll tell them, okay, create me a new folder called components, and inside the components, I need the home. Okay, so it's gonna generate me a new component here. Okay, it's all looks like it's already generated here inside the home. So what I'm going to tell them, okay, inside the home, I want something called another call. I want to generate the modules called component. Okay, component. So let's see where it's going to generate my modules for that one. Okay, looks like my modules has been generated inside the component folder here, another component folder. What I want is I want to put the modules inside the components, not in component here. So this I want to remove it because I really want to create a new modules for all the components, and I want to export to the app component, so I don't have to write it anything in app. I will only write it in the component modules here. What's really going on, that I want it. I mean, you guys can directly put in the app modules if you want it. It's really up to you how you're going to set it up your project is. Okay, this is a simple project, so I'll just put it on here, so this one, and I'll put it on here. So now looks like my home components is already put it by the here in the my app models, which I don't want to. I want to put my home component here. So I'll just do as a home component if it recognizes where it is sitting on it. It looks like it doesn't even recognize where is it. So I will import the home component here from the home component here. So I do have home component here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this. Okay, I want to export it my home component. So once I export these modules, I need to I will import that modules here, so I don't have to worry about the app modules at all for future. So I'll just import it here. It doesn't know where it is, so I need to literally write it down where it's coming from. Component modules, and it's inside the my components, and it's there, the component modules. So I'll just save it. So now if I go in app, it's written test and everything's working fine. If I go to the apps, that's home, right? Then if I save it, the home works is perfectly fine. It's working here. And if I go it here, not sure why it's giving me error, but there shouldn't be any issue, or maybe I didn't save it well, or but anyway, it's working perfectly fine. If I refresh this, then I didn't see any issue at all, and it says the home works is perfectly fine. So now let me write a couple of the HTML here. So you know what, I already wrote this HTML, so I'll just copy this HTML from here, home component, and I'm going to explain you what it really does. Okay, so I'll copy and I will just paste it here, and I'll just make this closer, and I will delete this, and I will create couple of the things while I was. So on this one, what I really need for this time is I don't need this at all. I just need this as a data here, like 12, or maybe here as a done. I'm going to show you what I'm doing right now. Just give me a couple of the seconds here. Here should be a total. Maybe it doesn't even need it. Okay, so what I really did on this home component in HTML file is basically it's creating a dashboard, and in the dashboard now I'm putting the canvas here, and this is the donut chart data that is coming with the chart.js. If you go to the Ng2chart, right, Ng2charts too, and they have a really good example here for donut chart, which I'm using. If I click it here, it will show me a donut chart here. which I'm using the donut chart here. Okay, it's just tell us that how we can use it. We can specify the labels, we can specify the data and the chart type. And here exactly what it's doing. It's giving a data, it's specifying the label, chart type, option, and the color as well. So I'm putting this everything here. Okay, exactly the same one. And this is coming from the Ng2 charts. Okay, so I put exactly same here, but now I'm seeing the issue because I don't have this defined on my TypeScript file at all. So if I go in my home, in TypeScript doesn't have anything here, okay? Doesn't have anything. So we need to grab a couple of the things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in TS file here, and on TS file this is exactly from here. I know there are a couple of things is missing here, I guess, such as like a chart option stuff, but you can search it in the document. It's everything is on the document here in Ng2chart too. Or if it's not or in the here, then you can find it in chart.js, which I did little bit research on it and I found it that one and I'm using this one. So I'm gonna explain now what is this does. If I paste it here, then this donut chart option will give us a chart option. And this chart option is also coming from the ng chart.js, right? And there are the labels. There are only two dependencies that has been using ng2chart and chart.js. So uh, this is coming from different libraries. So I will import everything that is coming with it. So I import everything here, which is exactly like this, right? It's coming everything here. I'll just save it now. So see how it looks like. Does it works or it's giving some issue here? Okay, looks like it's giving some issue because looks like I have imported this everything, but I didn't import the modules. So I will import the modules here in component here. What I'm going to import here is the chart modules. So I will go here and import the chart modules, and I will need to export this as well so that my app component will get it and it will run my chart. Let me see I can able to see it or not now. Okay, and I'm gonna put this code in below in GitHub as well, so you guys can download it and play around with it if you guys like it. So now let me see my home component. How the oh, looks like I need to save this maybe. Okay, saving it. Now it is. Now it looks like this. Okay, looks like my this guy doesn't even show up because let me see what's the issue is. Let me go here. What? I don't have a data. That's why it doesn't show up. So let me add a couple of data here. Here is single data. I think it's getting then dynamically from API, which we're gonna do later on. But for now, I'll just copy this as color as well. This is the color. For now, I just want to show the chart here. Okay, that's the important part we need. So I'll put some data here. We need to provide, I think, donut labels and chart. And this is a label. And this is a data set here on the bottom, right? This is a data set. So on data set, I'll put an array, and this is going to be the name of it. What is the label of going to be done? Something like done. And we have a pending, right? We do have a pending, and another one we do have to do. Okay, I'm gonna paste it, and now I'm seeing the issue here because the color will take as here as a background color, and background color will take as a this is everything on the documents there on chart.js. So I'm just trying to show the chart here. That's all. Here it is. Here is my chart. Okay, this is my HTML which I wrote it, which is shown here. Now I need to add a couple more CSS for this one to look a little better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna write all the CSS. It will take a longer time because you need to organize this to a little bit here. You need to organize this a little bit here, right? You need to organize a lot of stuff, and which I already wrote that. It will take a long time to organize that. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just copy this, copy the CSS raw. All right, copy and paste it here. So see how it looks like now. Of course, you guys plan. Okay, it looks like this, which is perfectly fine, right? It looks like this, which is good. And we don't want to worry about the chart now. We're just gonna take care of the on the bottom, which we want to show the list of the talks from the API. That's what we want to show first. Okay, so we're gonna come back this chart later on and later on after that, but we're gonna worry about the another parts on the bottom. So to create another part on the bottom, it's a list there. It's a list of the talks. So we need to generate another component. So what we're gonna do we're gonna generate ng-generate component, and we're gonna generate inside the components folder, and we're gonna tell them that okay, this is going to be a task, but what should of the tasks lists. Okay, this it should be a list. So I'll say that give me the list of that. So let me generate that. Okay, so okay, I misspell it, guys. I'm sorry, I misspell it. This one, components, right? Yep, that is it. Yeah, I need to remove this. I don't want this. Okay, I will remove this, and here it is. Continue. Okay, it looks like it's being used by the modules. I'm pretty sure. Cancel it. Okay, okay, cancel it, and let me see here. This is a list component which I use it, and it's coming from the talks as list as list. Okay, good. And let me check what's my app the module does is using. Okay, here it's adding that component which I don't want. Okay, I'll just save this. So I'll remove this because I did some typo mistake on the component. So I'll just remove it. Hopefully it will allow me to remove it because I removed. Okay, okay, I don't want to worry about that now. So I'll just put this as a list component. So I will put the list component on the bottom of the home.html, which is here. Okay, and here I'm going to call that app.list component. Okay, so I'll just save it. So now we will see the list here on the bottom. Can we see the list? Yep, we see the list on the bottom. Okay. So this is what we see a list. So now we need to create a list for that. So how we can create a list? So we use a material design. So we need to get a list from materials. So let me go to the material. I'm going to show you where is it, material, Angular, and get started on the component. We want the list. So this is a list what we need, and this is we can use this list, copy this list, and we want to paste it here. Uh, Okay, okay. Looks like it's deleting the before one, which I mistakenly created. Okay, so here is a list work. So I'll just paste the material. So now the problem is we couldn't able to add a material by itself. We need to import this materials modules as well. So we need to import that. Okay, so now let me create the another modules for the material itself. So how we can create is ng generate modules for materials, right? For materials. So let me create for materials. So I'll just create a modules for material itself to taking care of all the modules, because if I go it here on the API, it's using the modules, something called map list modules, which we need to import to use it. Otherwise, this doesn't even work. So I'll just save it here. But it doesn't even work now. So what we need to do is we need to import this modules from the materials. So I will copy this and I will import it here, right? And I will use this. I don't need the common models here. I'll just use this here and I will put it here on models import. And I'm gonna export these models as well with this. So once I export it, now this material models will get that, and I want to use this all the material models on my component models. So I will just import it here like this, materials models. Of course, it doesn't know where it is sitting on it, so I need to import this as well. So I'll import the material models from the go one step back, materials slash materials models, because I want to make this materials models as a collections of the materials models only. I don't want to put any models here more here. So once I import it, now let me see, did I see any issue? Looks like I didn't find any issue, but I need to save this pepper, salt, and paprika to show up here. So let me see, I can see it. Okay, it show up here. So this is a materials list. So the problem is now if my material list doesn't give you the all the design what we need. So we need to write a custom CSS for this, guys. So you know what? I already wrote a custom CSS, so I'm not gonna write all the CSS again to look better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab the CSS from here on my which I already wrote it. Okay. So because it will take a longer time to make that work, and I don't want to waste that much time. So I'll just go here and the list, it's called list talks, but what I just created like list. It's fine. It's a different name, but the it does the exact same thing. So I'll copy this CSS and I'll paste it here. Now I need to grab the HTML as well, the exact same HTML what we needed. Okay, this is the HTML, and I'm going to show you what it really does now. Mm, Okay, so looks like, okay, so this is a material selection list which I use from materials list, and it's looping couple of these task data which we are getting on it, right? But so what we're gonna do, I'll just make this big. I'll go here, and for now on this, I'm gonna create the task here. Okay, and this task is just make as empty for now, so it will not show up anything. Okay, the task is gone, and of course, whenever I click, then it's open a dialog which we want to use later on. So I'll just want to delete it first. So okay, so this is now it doesn't show up anything because I put it the empty task here. Okay, empty task, and of course it doesn't show up anything. But let me add some couple of datas here, just to verification that that works. So this should be a title, all right? Just use a title for now. Let's see how it looks like if I use a title, if I save it. So now if I use a title, okay, object that, okay, looks like my loop is using a async call. That's why. So basically now what it really does is it's added this material list selection, and how I know where it is located, then I need to go, of course, in material, and I need to find where is the material list. It should be somewhere here. If I go in material list, here is a material list, right? So I copy this material list and put it here, and I just use the ng to loop this task. And what is this task is basically, of course, I'm sending this task from my list component, which is right here, the test. So now let me see if the test is printing or not. Yep, here it is. Test is printing. So now I need to get the data from my API and I need to put it here. Okay, so let's do that quickly. So to do that, let me grab the let me create one other folder for services. Let me create the services and generate service, and I want to create a services inside the services folder, and this service is going to be a talk service, right? So I'll just use a task here. So now let me create this service quickly, and let me create the another folder here for interface. We're going to use the interface as well, and in the interface we're going to create the talks.interface, right, .ts file, and we're going to export this the talks. Okay, so this will return i.talks, and basically this will should return me a data what is coming from the API. And let me go back to the API of the talks which I wrote it before. Here it is. So it will give me uh, the data here, ID, everything. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create the interface for the iTalks, which I'm going to create the ID as a string, right? And the title, TITL, the title as a string. And what we have here, the pending. Let me type the type as a string again. And we have a due date. Let me do due date as a date. Right, and what we have description here, description as a string. Okay, so once we have a iTags interface, so we could use this interface to declare what would the data going to be returned. So this is my service which I created here. So for services, let me use the HTTP client, right? HTTP client, and this should be HTTP client. Okay, so I need to use these modules as well, because if I didn't use these modules, then that will not even work. So I should use these modules. I don't have to. You know what? I will put these modules and the main modules here. So HTTP client modules, and this is need to be come from the Angular by itself. HTTP client from Angular slash HTTP not Angular, sorry, it should be at Angular slash, I think it's common slash HTTP. Yep, http common slash http, and we do have http client modules what we imported, so we could use as here the http client, right? And of course we need to import this, import the http client from, again, angular slash, not cls, slash common slash http. Okay, so now we do have http client, so now we could create the services. So the first is to get the talks list. Okay, so now we are getting the talks list from the API, and we're going to use the http clients get. So we need to provide what would be our API endpoint it is. So we're going to put it this one here. Okay, so once we put it this one, we just want to make sure that this will return me observable, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use a pipe. Okay, so inside the pipe, what we're going to do is we're going to use something called map operator. And map operator is also coming from the RSJX, so observable. So I'll import that to import. Let me import the map from RxJS slash operator operators. Is it coming from operators? Yeah, I think it's coming from operators. Yep. So map will return me the data, and I'm going to return this data to my observable itself. This itself. So I'll return this function itself, and this will return me the observable. Observable of what? Observable of the array. Array of what? Array of the interface which I created, which is I talks, I believe. I talks which I created. Where I created this one is on interface here. And yep, I need to export this. I exported here with the default, but I don't want to export with the default. I want to export with by the each of it. So I tax it. Export default. No, I don't need to default, I guess. Yep, I just need to do export here. Okay, so now I could put this, where is it, my here I tags. So basically now I'm getting this data, and I'm using the map operator to make sure that I'm matching with all the required field which I needed with this guys. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. So here, let me do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna import the I operator, right? So I need to import the I tags from my interface which I created there. So I created where interface dash tags interface, right? So here it is, save, and here it is. It's saved, but we need to make sure that this guy is returning me array of the I tags. Okay, so here it is. So our function is ready to go. Now we need to call this the component. So the service is ready. So on the list here, of course, it's complaining here, but the list here, now here at the time of ng on init, we need to get the tags data. So we create a function called get tags, right? Get tags, get me a tag. So it doesn't have it, so it's complaining. So I'll just declare it here. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a dependency injection here for my services, which I created on the bottom here. Let me see that this services is been added in no, I don't have to add it. It's already provided in the root. So now I'll use the talk service here. Talk service instance for this, and it will add a dependency injection. I just need to import where this is coming from. So I'll tell that, okay, the talk service is come from the from the go back, double go back. Again, need to go back one step ahead, and the services here, and on the services, talk services. And later on, I will use this talk service to get this data, get talk service list. And let me see that I'm getting this data or not. I want to subscribe it here. I just want to print it here for now. What kind of data I'm retrieving or not. So I'll save it. So now if I see my project here, if I go in console, I make this bigger. So here it is. I'm getting the data, guys. So if I loop it up here, I already got the data. Perfect. So now I just want to loop it up in my list here. Okay. So because in my list, so if I go in my HTML for this talks list, so if I go in HTML, of course it's returning, it's looping the talks, and it's putting inside the due date, type, and here it's also checking that if the title is only up to be here 40 character. If it's more than 40 character, just add dot dot dot, otherwise empty, don't do anything. Just checking with it, just looks little nicer. Okay, so here I'm getting already a task, but I got a data, but I didn't add it in my property here, right? So I'm going to remove this, and I will tell that, okay, this should be observable of what? I array, and it should be I interface of the task. Okay, I'll tell them should be that, and for that one, I don't need to do a subscribe. I don't need to worry about anything. I'll just need to assign it here. That's it. So now the only thing we need is we're sending as async call there. So we just need to add the async pipe here. So async pipe will take care of this everything, right? So if I loop it up, then here it is. It says the oh yeah, of course I need to put it down a little bit. This here, yep, if you I saw it, everything is making on it is exact data that is looping up right here. Where is my API? Here it is, and we see a data here. In the next video, we're gonna do a navigation part, which is very important, which I haven't added on it on, and later on we're gonna do more work on this project. Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys, for this video. Of course, this video is going to be pretty long, but yeah, I hope you guys learned something new, and please do subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Bye for now.